Hi, welcome to class. I'm Dr. John Storslee. I prefer to be called John. Dr. Storslee for groveling for a grade. But this class should be fairly easy, so have some fun with it and we'll get going on this. Now, the first thing is I want to point out the best way to get a hold of me is via email. And I'm going to have a web page for each one of the classes. Um, this video is for Photoshop, Illustrator, and Animate. So I'm going to reuse it, but the content is the same. The best way, like I said, to get a hold of me is through email or office hours, which will change. So check before you go. You can use my phone number, but unfortunately, I get so many spam calls that I don't answer my phone anymore the first time unless I know the person that's calling me. So I definitely recommend email because I check my email, 2 to 3 times a day, whereas my voicemail maybe once a day or once every other day. Now, I should point out that we're covering a content that's going to be 16 weeks worth of content in an 8-week period, which means, oh my God, that's a lot of work. And it is so easy to fall behind. Before I forget, I need to make sure that you understand I accept late homework, but you're not going to get full credit, but you'll get a good portion of it. Now, I want you to do a very, very good job. So the better the job, no matter what time it is, the better the grade, obviously. If you give me garbage late, then you're not going to be a happy camper, because I sure won't be. Um, I should point out that all the assignments that I have will create what we call a portfolio. And that's a good thing to have so you can take it to your prospective employer and say, hey, this is what I can do, and you can show them. Now, like I said, I've got 8 weeks of content, or 8 weeks to cover 16 weeks of content. So that's why you notice that there's, 2 different assignments per that, or 2 different sections. Now, the details for the homework assignments are going to be right here. Notes, I'll have the videos that explain and show how I did the work and go from there. Now, the assignments, what's due is here. You can have some more detail of that, or you can go to your assignments inside here and it will give a very, very brief explanation of that. But then if you want to turn in your stuff, your homework, I'm going to show you this way, like the name assignment. Come on, be nice. There we go. You just explains it. Oh, and a key point, especially for Photoshop, keep your images small, 100K JPEGs. So we start the assignment. What you can do is you can add a file. Now, I should point out, in the beginning of the semester, this is not as important, but near the end, some of our file sizes, the raw format, the PSDs, and the AI, when the files start getting real big, the canvas was designed with Chrome in mind. So if you use Firefox and it's a huge file, sometimes it'll just kind of go, that spiraling around where it's thinking, it's trying to do it. It just kind of locks up. So I would always use Chrome for the larger assignments. Now, if you don't have, the programs Photoshop, Illustrator, or whatever the class you're taking, Animate, you're more than welcome to go to the campus and use the computers there. And just talk to the front desk and say, hey, I want to use Animate, or I want to use Photoshop or Illustrator, and they'll find out how to do that. Now, what I want to do is, once I have a file, I just click on right here, add a file. I can drag it in there and hit submit. Now, one thing you need to be careful of is I had a student who wasn't using Chrome, and they thought they were submitting it, and it never did show up, and then they were late for a while. I was forgiving on that, even though they should have known better, but that's what you do. Now, I have to talk about our 800-pound gorilla in the room, and that is not Illustrator AI, but AI, generative AI. And what that is, you now are able to describe a picture and it will generate it for you. Now, knowing Photoshop or knowing Illustrator or Animate can be a very, very useful tool because I guarantee you, you're not going to get exactly what you want. So you can maybe use AI to get a rough start or to show a potential customer something and then come back later and then do it in Photoshop or Illustrator and polish it up. So that's why AI. Now, do I want you to use AI for all of the assignments? No. I've identified some assignments that I want you to use. Um, Plus, I'm always going to ask for the files in the native format, and that's, PSD or .ai or whatever the other format is. So please just, remember AI is a tool. Don't let it dominate you and don't let that interfere with your learning. If you're having an issue with copyright, with some of the AI companies stealing information from artists, I do too. And so what I end up doing is I use Adobe's version of it, which is Firefly, and they claim that, and I always use claim, they claim that they've paid for all the images that they use as a foundation for their AI. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you got. Use AI sparingly. And if you have any questions, email me and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing your homework.